TF Wire presents War Stories, a fan fiction podcast.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of TFWire.com's War Stories, Episode 7. I'm your host, Steve/Megatron. Today I'm reading a story by Opticron Primal. The story is called City of Ruin. Boom! A thunderous blast heard on the east side of the city of Tranquillity, debris falling like meteorites from the sky. The streets were bare of life, for the inhabitants had been evacuated before the evil could get to it first. The army tried to contain them, but there was nothing they could do. This is it, their war, and interfering would be fatal. From the blast area, a black GMC 4x4 top kick skids around the curb and races towards the cutoff point of the city the army had marked so no bystander would be caught in the fight. As the truck raced closer, it started shifting and changing, soon becoming upright. Legs formed, then the torso, the arms and cannons, and then finally the head. When it reached the cutoff point, the truck was gone, and in its place stood a huge robot with cannons on each forearm. From the soldiers that stood near the point, a boy walked forward. He looked like an ordinary teenager, wearing a brown sweater, dirty jeans, and worn sneakers. He looked up at the robot without fear. "Sam, everyone made it out okay?" the bot asked. "Yeah, don't worry about us, Ironhide. Go and stick it to those creeps," he said with a smile on his face. "Will do, soldier," the bot Ironhide said as he transformed back to his previous form of a pickup. "You better get back. That blast came from Brawl, and if that varmint finds out you humans are here..." Before he finished, he sped away, knowing that Sam had a good idea what he was going to say. The enemy spoken of, Brawl, was creeping his way through the deserted streets of Tranquillity, turning his gun turret towards every opening to be cautious. Brawl had taken the form of an army tank when he arrived on Earth. It was no ordinary tank. It had missile pods and machine gun turrets mounted on different areas of its body, and scanning it made Brawl a one-bot wrecking crew. As he slowly trundled through the streets and around curbs, he heard tires screeching towards him. In the distance, he saw a silverish figure speeding in his direction. The figure was another vehicle, a Pontiac Solstice, its silver paint glimmering in the sun, its tires screeching on the blacktop road. When the sports car was in a mile of Brawl, it started transforming the same way as Ironhide had, only faster. The robot form was small, but fast as lightning. He had a visor cover half of his face with antennae sticking out on each side of his head. He had three pronged hands with small spikes on each finger. Suddenly, his right hand morphed into a futuristic-looking gun as he charged in Brawl's direction. Preparing for battle, Brawl also transformed, but into a large, menacing robot twice the size of the Pontiac robot. He had three razor-sharp bladed hands, and guns that would make the military quiver. Brawl stood his ground as the other robot sped closer. "So," he sneered, "the first move has been made." He prepared himself for battle. The Pontiac robot came within one city block of Brawl and leapt into the air, all the while yelling, "This ends here, Decepticon!" And that's the end of the story. If you'd like to hear your fanfic read on the air, please post it on TFWire.com's War Stories forum. After that, all you have to do is give us some permission, and then it should be read on the future episodes. And remember, if you want to write a fanfic, feel free to do so and submit it. You never know, you may hear it in a future episode of War Stories. And until next time, this is Steve/Megatron, signing off.
The preceding story was not endorsed by Hasbro and is meant for entertainment purposes only. All fan fiction stories are copyrighted to their respective authors, and all fan fiction stories used within this podcast are used with permission from the author. This has been a TFWire.com production.